Hello everyone and welcome back to another Top Heroes guide video. This is going to be a video pertaining to the top 10 tips that I have for beginners as they are leveling their castle, their troops, and their heroes. So let's get right into it. Our first and most important tip is going to be the actual development of your castle. So let's click into our castle here. And I need to be extra careful because we're about to have guild race and I am saving up all of these constructions that I have finished. So I don't really want to click on any of those. But as you level your castle, it is very linear. A lot of games are going to have you level up each piece of your castle at the same time, so they're all nearly the same level. That is not the case with Top Heroes. As you can see here, there are multiple benefits to why you should try and level your castle to 30 as quick as possible. One, and the most important, is that your max hero level increases drastically as you get to 30. So you go from a max hero level of 15 all the way up to 170 as you work your way to level 30. On top of that, you get an increase in your resource plunder limit, which is going to allow you to more rapidly get resources and level up other parts of your castle. And then it gives you some passive bonuses of hero attack and hero HP. That's why we want to put such a big focus on our castle. So how are we going to do that? They have recently came out with an update that changed all of the guidance that you're going to find online. Previously, you had to level your warehouses, your watchtower, legion towers. That has all changed. So from now on, it goes back and forth with each level between leveling up research, so your research cottage, and then leveling up. So here we have our research cottage. See how it's 29. I'm currently leveling it so I can get to 31. Your hospital, which I'm not going to click on because I just upgraded that. So that's one combination. And then the other combination that you have to level up with your castle are your training groups, training grounds, and your guild. So these are what you're going to want to level up and focus on, so that way you can get your castle to 30 as fast as possible. So next we're going to talk about factions, legion towers, your barracks. That way you can increase your troop capacity and you can increase your troop level. And then the faction bonuses play a large part in providing additional bonuses. So let's dive into this and see what we need to do to maximize our teams. When starting, almost everybody is going to focus on Legion faction. It's probably the strongest because we have heroes like Pyro, as well as None that come out very early and are both very strong. But what's most important is you look at your faction here, your faction aura. Faction aura, depending on how many deployed legendary heroes you have of that faction, gives your queue bonuses. So as you can see, we have 6 here that are all legendary heroes that are applying the plus 35% attack and plus 35% HP bonus. If I were to replace one of these heroes with someone of a different faction, even if they're a good hero, it's not typically advised at this point in the game because they're not good enough to make up for this decrease in our attributes here. On top of that, using heroes of the same faction can also give you bonds. So we have a bond right now for damage reduction from using our Pyro, Secret Keeper None, and then also for HP by using Bard and our Tavern Lady right here. Besides just understanding that there is a faction aura and there are bonds, you need to know, besides those ones I had talked about previously on leveling your castle, which buildings you should focus on. So you will want to focus on whichever faction you're going for, that barracks. So as you level up your barracks, it increases, one, your training cap, but it also increases the level of the troops that you're able to make. So currently at a level 30 here with League, I'm able to make level 7 troops, which makes me quite a bit stronger than some of the other people that are in our server. But you'll want to level up your statues. Leveling up your statues increases your march size. So you're going to have more of your troops behind your heroes as you're attacking other players. Our third tip is going to be on managing resources. In any game like this, it's important to know what you need to be purchasing with diamonds and then also how to conserve resources. So first, when we're conserving resources, we want to make sure that we don't have millions and millions of resources in our base ready to be stolen by other players in PvP. So how we do that is, and it's really easy in this game, the vast majority of your resources come from these chests. So these chests are just going to be sitting here waiting for whenever you're actually going to do an upgrade, and they make it really easy on you too. So you can just hit the upgrade button, and if you did not have enough resources of stone, timber, whatever, there would be a button that you could push that would use up some of those storage chests to only use enough to build that specific structure that you're trying to build. So this will help protect you from all those PvP players that are trying to take your resources. As long as you leave them in those resource chests, they are safe. The next resource that's important is going to be coming from the ranch. So meat is very important because it is the only resource you can use to level up your heroes. You do not want to level up every single hero to the max level. So I have some of my heroes still at level 1, some I'm leaving at level 135, but you don't really want to level every single hero to the max every single time because as you progress through the game, you're going to be running out of the meat that you get from your ranch, and then you won't be able to level up your main queue that you're trying to progress with. And then the final resource is going to be our diamonds. You can, of course, purchase more if you need to. I would advise against it because you do get from your daily packs diamonds, and they also give you other bonuses as well. But there are specific items that you need to purchase with these gems. So when you are spending gems, I always check the VIP shop first. You want to get to VIP 3. So to do that, you can actually, if you're in a guild, buy with your guild tokens VIP points, which is a good use of your guild points because getting to VIP 3 does give you some additional bonuses in here of things you can buy. So you can get speed ups, you can get the potions, but the most important things to purchase, especially if you're free to play, are going to be stamina because stamina is important for many things in the game. You can farm the world bosses. It allows you to go and do the legion attacks. You can run out of your stamina pretty quickly if you're just doing the bare minimum. So you definitely need to purchase stamina potions. If you're a heavily PvP focused server and you're not in one of the best guilds, it might be beneficial to purchase some shields. I would really use maybe an 8-hour or if you do have the VIP unlock for the 4-hour shield, something like that's going to be beneficial for you because they can come and dominate you and take all your resources. So make sure you join a pretty good guild. That way you're protected, and then you're also shielding up if that ever does happen. The other thing you need to do occasionally is if you're starting to slip in your ranking, like I'm ranked 10 right now, and usually I'm higher than that, you can purchase additional challenges in the arena. That gives you obviously more of your arena tokens, challenge tokens, which can help you buy shards. So I can buy pyromancer shards and then recruitment tokens. You can also use these for diamonds as well, which would be kind of redundant if you're using diamonds to get the arena token, but that is an option for you. And then you can get just a bunch of good gear in here. And then finally, the last thing to focus on with your diamonds is going to be in your guild under traits. So you can actually use diamonds to donate to traits. So if we just click this, we can donate and get our traits leveled up faster. This gives you passive bonuses, and if your traits are further than other guilds, it's going to be a big help to you whenever you get to server or whenever you're fighting for that castle and you need an edge on your opponent. The next tip is going to be that this game is actually not heavily focused on PvP as compared to some other games that are similar to this. A lot of the dynamics are not guild versus guild, but it's mostly PvE based guild content with world bosses taking over ruins. And there's enough ruins to go around that it's not really a PvP type feel. However, I do enjoy PvP, so let's go over some tips real quick about what you should focus on to increase your PvP chances. The first tip is to have a game plan and stick to it. You want to focus on one main queue, whether it be Legion, Horde, or Forest. Stick with those heroes, level them, progress their gear, and progress their abilities. So what do I mean by that? If you're going Legion, you really want to focus on 3 of the main heroes here. You're going to want to focus on Pyro. She's going to be your main damage dealer. Then you're going to want to focus on Nun. And then you can focus on Astrologer for another damage dealer. In these heroes, you'll want to make sure they have the best gear. That way they're doing the most damage and the most healing as possible. Their max level. And then you're maxing all of their abilities as well. As far as gear, put the best gear that you have on them. You want to level them up in increments. As you can see, for level 10, you get attack. For level 20, you get crit rate. So make sure that you're going all of them to 10. As you can see, we're going all to 10. And then we're currently in the process of leveling up these boots on Bard to 10. After that, you'll want to go all 20 and so forth. If you have extra gear, I have a lot of extra gear from mining world bosses, so I just threw it on my second team. But if you don't have a lot of extra gear, I would actually advise that you use your blacksmith. You dismantle all that extra gear, like I'm doing now. You craft that extra gear. So now I can actually go make another piece of legendary gear after this arcane chest plate is complete. And then for PvP, research plays an important role. As you can see, I've maxed out my combat expertise for PvP. I've kind of started ignoring growth and economy as those ones aren't too important for me at the moment. I might regret that later, but right now we want to focus on PvP. Q boost is important because 1, you're going to increase your troop size. So there are 2 large research here that you can increase your troop march size, which gives you more troops, making you stronger against opponents. So I'm currently working on that. You can also increase your attack of all your soldiers and your HP of all your soldiers. So you would want to focus on Q boost next. I am also simultaneously focusing on my heroes, so you can increase your heroes attack. So this middle section here is kind of what you want to focus on. Go ahead and get combat expertise up. Once that's up, it will unlock this second layer right here, and this is going to be where you want to focus for PvP. One final PvP trick for you if you are being absolutely demolished by a PvP guild over and over and over again, you can actually change your lineup. So what that would look like is here, it has to be Q1. You would take all of your heroes out because this is going to be the queue that's going to be defending you. And you would actually replace them with just a level 1 hero, a blue hero, and that decreases your troop size exponentially, and you won't be losing troops as quickly than if you had left your main troop there getting attacked on repeat. Another important feature is going to be saving these legendary universal hero shards. If you're Free to play, this is pretty much going to be how you're going to be leveling up your mythic heroes. So you want to have as many of these as you can, because those mythic heroes take twice as many of these as your legendary heroes to level up. So make sure you're saving these, and then there are specific events you'll want to begin saving your recruitment tokens as well, like Guild Race. So these are some resources you'll want to save. Go ahead and use them in the beginning for the first week, week and a half. That way you're not behind, but then you'll want to begin saving them for those better heroes. Tip number 6 has already been alluded to on my previous video about decoration farming and where to farm the decorations, but this is very important. So we'll go over it again. So when we go into our map here, we want to make sure that we are getting all of the decorations we can. I'm still missing some just because I've been spending my energy elsewhere, but you'll want to go into your map, see what you're missing, and go and get those decorations. It's going to make a big impact on your team. It's also going to be how you get extra gear. That way you can, destroy it and make your legendary gear. We just did the math on this in my guild, and our guild leader has he's not a big spender, and he has $300 worth of legendary gear simply by farming these world bosses. All right, the next tip is going to be guild traits. So first of all, it's important to join a guild, a strong guild. They'll protect you, and then you'll have strong players that you can get behind for legions, because some legions are going to be too difficult for you to attack, especially if you're free to play. So get behind some of those whales and join those strong guilds. That way you can progress and have fun in the game, because there's so much guild content. But the specific thing with guilds are traits. Like I had mentioned previously, you want to level these as fast as you can, but there is a specific pathway that's recommended. So you want to kind of avoid the left side at first. Maybe put a few into your great guild. That way you can have more members. But you really want to focus this right side, going all the way down to Guild Ranch. Guild Ranch is going to be important because that is where you're going to begin farming all of those meat that becomes a precious resource at the end of the game when you're leveling. So you'll want to max that out. Some guilds like ours wanted to get more in store size, so we continued to go down this track, but definitely want to focus on Guild Ranch all the way down till you get to that, and then go back and focus the left side. That way you can get those passive bonuses for all of your guild members. Tip 8 is simply hero development. Make sure you're picking the best heroes. I'm going to attach a tier list. There are a lot of tier lists out there, but there are some specific heroes that are going to be good for you to develop in the beginning. So those heroes are going to be Forest Maiden, if you want to go Forest. Pixie is S tier. You'll want to focus on Pixie, definitely, if you're Forest. The Tree Guard is a pretty good tank. And then you can focus on Shaman and Warlock. In the beginning, Horde is not the strongest, unfortunately. Some of their heroes come a little bit later. They don't deal the most amount of damage. They don't have the best tanks. So that's going to be a little bit hard for you to focus on Horde. They are best late game, so they have a lot of mythic heroes that make them very strong. So it's something just to consider. And those heroes that follow up into the mythic is going to be Shaman and Warlock. Definitely early game, and what most people stick with for the entire game is going to be Legion. Of these heroes, the ones that you want to focus are going to be primarily Pyro. It's going to be your damage dealer. Nun is going to be your second priority. She's going to be your healer, and she's a great healer. Then I would honestly focus on Bard. Bard is a good support character, helps with buffs, has a little bit of AoE, damage isn't too great, but the buffs that he provides with his skills are really good and pair well with your damage dealer Pyro with crits and speed. The next is to make sure that you do dailies to get your resources that you need to get. So the first one is going to be our Legion treasure. This level increases based off of your castle. So we just search, we'll go and we'll attack. That Legion, you get 3 attempts of those per day. That's going to give you some good bonuses like speed ups and skill books. And then the big one's going to be Rally. So you'll want to make sure that you are attacking the Legion bosses. This is where you want to get behind those whales and join their Legion bosses rallies, because it is hard to kill level 3, level 4 Legion bosses. So you get 3 of those as well per day. That uses energy, so you'll want to make sure that you are rallying behind those as well. On top of that, you also have your carriages. So first you get to send out 3 and then 4 as you level up. Then you also get 4 plunder attempts per day. So I still have one of my plunder attempts that I need to use today. You want to save those and use them on gold or mythic carriages. Each of these carriages has a number of times it can be plundered. So mythic is 3, gold is 2. So just be wary of that as well. And then our final tip is a passive way to join rallies. It's very helpful if you're just doing stuff in the background, trying to level up your castle, you're going through the main story mission. Make sure that you go to your guild, go to war, and then you have this auto join feature at the very bottom. You'll want to make sure that you select the auto join feature, and then you can select which queues you want to automatically join rallies. This is really beneficial. It'll automatically send them in there, so it'll be passively getting all of those chests you get for helping your guild members with their rallies. That's going to be it for today's video. I hope these 10 tips and tricks are going to be helpful for you as you're progressing through top heroes. They've definitely helped our guild stay number 1 and helped me progress in the game as well. Please enjoy this level 3 Legion boss that I am soloing, and make sure to give the video a like and subscribe. As always, have a good day, and thank you for watching.